All right. Interesting final game of the season. Interesting final game of the Browning Gaskin era. Interesting way to put a cap on it. I don't totally know how to digest it. I don't totally know how to take it. Basically, for one, it's a loss, which I'm not surprised by, 28-23. And clearly the better team won. Ohio State was clearly better than the Washington Huskies. Not just in this game, but they are a better team, and they have proven that in most of their games this year. So I don't see any point in getting upset about the loss. We played a better team. We played on a neutral field, more or less. If anything, maybe favoring us. I don't know. And we couldn't get it done. So 28-23, like I said, weird game flow. The game started out okay. Defense was playing good. We were stopping the pass. We were even got a little pressure on Haskins very early in the game, I think. I think we got a sack on their first drive. And basically, once Ohio State committed to the running game, it became a real problem for us on defense because, I was talking about this Washington defense, which I thought was really good, and they are. And I don't want to say they played terrible today because they gave up 28 points to a really good offense. And 7 of those points were more on the offense screwing up than anything. But I kind of forgot how lackluster our run defense is. And it was today. Mike Weber, 6.5 yards a pop. But I also forgot our pass rush doesn't exist. We had 1 sack on Haskins in the first drive. And early in the game, I was like, okay, maybe we got a little something. And then for about the next 50 minutes, we didn't come anywhere near Dwayne Haskins. I think there was one play where he had to hold on to the ball for like 10 seconds almost, and we got to him. There might have been one more sack that we got in the fourth quarter when the game was, right in between, being over and done with and still being maybe kind of sort of an interesting game. So for most of that game, we didn't get anywhere near Dwayne Haskins. And though we only gave up 28 points, defense just, I don't want to say they disappointed me because I don't think they're the reason why we lost this game. I guess I just expected a little more. I mean, the strength of our defense has always been our secondary. We this year have not had a good pass rush. Run defense has been spotty at best. And today I thought the secondary held up for a while, but eventually you saw, Paris Campbell or however you say his name running, free in the secondary, finding the holes in the zones and getting open by, 5 or 10 yards. So I don't want to put this on the defense because if you look at things at the end of this game, I feel like there's a unit on this team that we can blame way more. But to me, I don't know, maybe I was expecting a turnover or two, which we never got. We had one chance at a turnover in this game. Dude dropped it. And we need a pass rush. We need to improve the run defense. But as has been the case throughout a lot of this season, we overcame that to put up a decent defensive performance, 28 points, and 7 of those points came off and screw up by the offense, if you're going to be honest with you. So let's talk about this offense. Okay. It's Jake's last game as a Washington Husky. I'm pretty sure there's no way he can come back. And we kind of saw the Jake Browning experience today. You don't feel like he played terrible. You don't feel like he even played bad, but he's makes 1 or 2 really dumb decisions, and he did make a couple of dumb decisions in this game that just defy expectation for a senior quarterback. He did make some good throws. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm. A lot of our stuff is short, and that became a real problem as this game went on when Ohio State decided, we're not worried about the deep ball. we're going to play everything up tight. And it was tough for us to do anything about it. I mean, we had 3 points when the fourth quarter started. So a lot of that has to come back to your senior 4-year starter QB. And the numbers for Jake are going to be okay for this game. He got to 300 yards, but if you watch this game, kind of like what I say with the defense, you watch this game, you see Jake Browning, a quarterback who's good. Like, Jake Browning is good, but he's not good enough. He's not going to lift your team up. He's just going to be good enough to keep the team where it should be. And, like I said, 2 years ago, we had a great team around him, and he was a Heisman contender. Last year, we took away some of those pieces. He was good. This year, we took away even more of those pieces, and for most of the season and for most of today, he looked like a game manager. And when the game got out of hand for these Huskies, he just wasn't the guy who was going to be able to help us keep up. Ohio State does not have that great of a defense. They have a pretty good defense, but that's not the focal point of their team. And for 3 quarters today, we couldn't finish the job. We had one scoring drive in the first quarter. Browning missed some easy throws. He missed an easy 3rd down conversion with like a minute left in the first half, which resulted in Ohio State getting a touchdown with 11 seconds left, where we could have just run the clock out. I mean, that's bad. We really could have maybe used that touchdown at the end. So it's Browning. It's also these receivers who struggled to get open, which is not surprising. They're not superstar receivers. They're doing everything they can out there. I believe that Baselli did all he could, and he actually put up good numbers today, but they just can't make big plays. Aaron Fuller, he had a pretty good game too, numbers-wise, but look, we can't make big plays down the field, and that's a problem. Ty Jones, he had a drop of a 20-yard catch. He made a couple plays throughout this game, but he's not a big-time wideout either. The one guy on this team who has that superstar potential is Hunter Bryant. Today, we didn't throw to him but once until the fourth quarter, and he had a drop, but he also had another amazing catch. So, to me, we probably should have gone to him a little more than we did. He's the one guy who can really do some damage against a decent defense. He's the one guy who can just win his one-on-one matchups routinely. And I feel like he should have been a bigger part of this game plan. And I think the fact that he wasn't was a big reason why we had problems in that first 3 quarters. The run game, it wasn't always fun, but eventually it was there. Gaskin had a good game. 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. Threw for a touchdown as well, by the way. Shout out to that. I think he's got... I don't know if he has another passing touchdown in his career or not, but it might not be. That might be his only one. So, that's cool. But like I said in my pregame, if we wanted to win this game, we couldn't be one-dimensional. And for a good portion of this game, it felt kind of like we were. And it's on Browning, who is gone next year, but who's not gone this year are these receivers. So we need to get some new people in here, or we need the people we have to get a lot better, because we could not threaten Ohio State down the field, and that's what killed us. So that's kind of the story of this game to me. I don't know how to take that fourth quarter where we outscored OSU 20-0, and we were an onside kick away from having a chance to go win this game. So I understand Ohio State was probably relaxing a little bit because they were up by 25 points early in the fourth, or when the fourth quarter started, and it looked like it was over. I'm sure that they are kicking themselves a little bit over letting us back into that game. They had excuse me. Sorry if you guys can hear that up there, by the way. I got a second dog here living here right now that's mouthy. In any case, we blocked a punt. We had a couple of big plays, and we were able to kind of claw our way back in there and make this more respectable. But I can't really give them full credit for it because, I'm sorry, but those first 3 quarters, We looked as pathetic as I was afraid that we were capable of looking. I knew that we were probably going to lose this game, as you guys can probably tell from my pregame video, but there is no way that we should be looking that bad when the game is contested. We should not need to go down by 25 points in the fourth quarter to wake up. So we're going into the offseason 10-4, Rose Bowl loss, pretty good. I feel fortunate that we won the Pac-12 because we were probably not the best team in the Pac-12. Straight up, Wazoo is probably better than us. We just beat them because it's a bad, bad matchup for those boys. And I'm not mad that we lost. I don't totally know how to feel about this game right now. Going down 25 points in the fourth quarter, it's hard for me to see the positives when you do something like that because neither side of the ball was playing that well. Although I give the defense way more slack, neither side played great. And the 20 points in the fourth is wonderful. I love it. It made it exciting at the end. We were 2 big plays away from winning this game. But how you get there in the first place? All right. I don't know if I would call this a successful season. I feel like in the preseason we were all expecting more than a 10-4 record, but the Rose Bowl is not nothing. And holding your own in this game, if you want to call it holding your own, because we did not get completely waxed. And by the way, I understand if Ohio State if Ohio State went up 70-0, and then we scored 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to make it, a little less embarrassing, then of course I would completely write that off. I'm not completely writing off what we did in that fourth quarter. It was significant. We did make some plays in that fourth, but you got to grade it on the curve a little bit. Next year we need a pass rusher. We need a big play receiver. I know John Ross is not walking through that door, but we need somebody who can stretch a defense because right now we don't have that guy. Maybe it's Hunter Bryant, but we don't know yet. And there's your season. I'll take it, but I'm not satisfied with it. All right, I'm going to check out this Texas game, and I will be seeing you all later this week to talk about Seahawks Cowboys. Peace.